Let's now talk about food security. Like Zinzi was saying just a few moments ago, we saw floods, then went to drought, now we're back to floods, and now we have locusts. So joining me live now is Allan Tollo. He's the CEO of Myfugo, an agribusiness expert as well. Allan, thanks for making time for us. So what are the gaps that you're seeing in the agriculture industry here in Kenya right now?
Thank you, Trevor. Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead.
Okay, so the agriculture industry, as you know, is a very important sector. It contributes 25% to the GDP, and actually 56% of all labor force is serviced by the agriculture industry. So, for example, one of the problems we have is prices. We have fluctuating prices. If you look at milk, when it's raining, there's a milk glut, and the price of milk goes down. And then when it's dry, then the price of milk goes up. The stability of prices, whether it's in maize or milk, will encourage farmers to plant more or to have more dairy farming and make it a profitable business. So prices is a problem.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's so the cost of inputs.
Yeah.
So you have fertilizer being expensive at some time. Another point that the government offers subsidies, but these subsidies don't reach the rural farmer. Maybe you have more of the large scale and medium scale farmers getting these subsidies.
Yeah.
So the inputs make farming more expensive.
Okay, Allan, there's this perception that we should move away from agriculture to agribusiness. Is that necessarily true?
Not necessarily. And
Yeah.
I'll go back to the fact that agriculture actually contributes 25% to our GDP.
Yeah.
And so the two have to work in tandem. What we confuse is that agriculture should lead to value addition, and value addition is where we have more of agribusiness. And agribusiness is just an extension of agriculture, in which case then we get more out of the products that are produced from the input of agriculture.
Yeah. So, Allan, the average age of farmers in Kenya today is 60 years, in a country where 60% of the population is under 35. So what are some of the other innovative ways to incentivize the farmers so that we have a younger generation in agriculture?
That's a good question. So, according to the statistics, we've got 4 to 5 million youths currently unemployed. And what we are asking is, how do we help these youth take up more of agribusiness or agriculture? And this is where technology comes in place. We now have soil sensors that can help farmers know the fertility levels of their soil and predict the kind of productivity they can get when they plant maize or when they plant tomatoes. We've got apps now that can track and record milk or track the weather and help the farmer become a more conscious and informed person in terms of climate change, in terms of what is supposed to be done. For example, the market value chains. These tools and apps can connect the buyer directly to the farmer. And that way, the youth especially can be more attracted. Instead of having unemployment, they can go more into farming. And this will help reduce the age gap from 60 maybe down to 35.
Yeah, this is interesting what you're bringing up, Allan, because you're talking about soil sensors and apps, but the average age of a farmer is 60 years. Those are mostly people who can't even use these apps that we're talking about.
True. So one of the things we've done is make this information as simple as being used on a feature phone. So your small kabambe can easily receive a text message telling you that your cow's body temperature is above normal. Kindly call a veterinary doctor. So it's not only about using technology, but the conversion of technology in a manner that is consumable by the local farmer. And if it is about rainfall, you don't have to show the farmer complex patterns of the next 3 months. All you have to do is send a simple SMS telling him that your region will have rainfall up to X amount of precipitation for the next 2 months. And this is also supported by the local community, the cooperative societies, the county governments. Having normal trainings surrounding these activities is very important. And one side that the government should help is actually the aggregators. You have that, you find that technology aggregators, for example, will help the farmer get to know that there's a buyer in Nairobi who needs 50 bags of your maize. And at this time, you're a farmer in Vihiga. This cuts out the middlemen. And these middlemen, once they are out of the value chain, it will mean that the farmer gets a higher price for his products. And these are the kind of aggregators that we need to encourage as a government.
So based on the research that you've been doing, Allan, right now, what should people expect? Is there going to be an increase in food prices? Is there going to be available food in the villages and not in the town, cities? What's going to happen?
Okay, so that's an interesting one, because the COVID-19 pandemic, first and foremost, what it has done is that it has cut the supply chain. The hotels that used to buy this food are not open, they are closed. Schools are closed. And so the market for this food is not available. So we have a lot of food in the villages that are not getting to the urban centers, at least getting there to a limited extent. But the market is kind of bottled at this point. Now, as the rain comes in, then you have the challenge of, say, oversupply of milk, if I can take that as an example, and depressed milk prices. And once that happens, again, it's the same farmer who suffers. One point that had been mooted to the government was to set up a fund that would mop out the excess milk, what we call the milk glut, so that this milk can be purchased by the government and turned into milk powder for storage and maybe exportation. And these are the kind of interventions that we still need to look at. And hopefully, if they are implemented in time, then they can safeguard the prices for the farmer